Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here, and today we got some injury news, some good news on players like Brian Robinson, and some not so good news on guys like Jahan Dotson and Sam Cosmi. So we're going to get into all of that in today's video, but if you guys are new, please subscribe. I'm so close to 9,000 subscribers, so please help me get there and hit that like button and that notification bell. Let's get right into it. Okay, so let's get into some good injury news first. So Washington officially activated running back Brian Robinson off the non-football injury list, and he practiced today, and he has, I believe, 21 days to be put on the active roster. But I think we all can agree that he's going to be off of that before those 21 days are up, and probably will play this week. Not 100% sure, but very, very, very likely, if everything goes well the rest of the week, that he will be playing on Sunday, which is just absolutely insane. 37 days after, it's been 37 days after getting shot twice, and he's back on the football field, back on the practice field, and who knows, maybe they put him on the non-football injury list to start the season just to be cautious, but he probably, if he wasn't on that list, could have been back maybe even last week or the week before, which is absolutely insane. Just, super, super fortunate that he's healthy and, that he's feeling good enough to play football. So great news for the team, but more importantly, great news for him that he's healthy and everything like that. So there's some clips from him in practice. Here's one of him just, jogging but catching a pass. We've seen stuff like this before, but just good to see him practicing normally with the rest of the team. I'll show you guys it a couple more times. You see Gibson there in the background. Jonathan Williams talked about he's got to be half Wolverine or something to come back in 37 days. And then here's another clip of Robinson going through kind of the agility drills again. Just crazy that he's back this quick, and he looks like he did before he got the injury. Going to be a heck of a story for him to tell later on. And he said he also had a press conference afterwards. Not going to go over too much into it, but he talked about he's super excited to get back. Talked about when he was at the hospital, that was one of his low moments of his life. Was happy with the support of his teammates and everyone who went there to support him at the hospital, which is great. And then you guys can read the rest of the comments that he had. They're all up on Twitter and everything like that. But again, Brian Robinson, great to have him back. We'll talk about his impact in a little bit after we go through the other injury news. So Jahan Dotson, not there for practice. Really unfortunate. He's one of their better players right now. Has 4 touchdowns through the first 4 weeks of the season, and that's really impressive. 2 touchdowns in the opener, 1 touchdown in the second week, and then 1 touchdown last week. Has been really solid for the Commanders and will likely be out this week, maybe another week. I think Rivera said a 1 to 2 week injury. Who knows? There's a small chance he plays against the Titans, but more likely than not, he's going to be out against the Titans and maybe back against the Bears. But the thing with the Bears game is I believe it's a Thursday night game, so he has less time. I mean, really, 1 week, 8 days from today, we'll be playing another game. So he's not going to have that much time to come back. So maybe they'll be like, okay, we'll rest you for this game, and hopefully you're good for the Titans or for the Bears game. We'll see, but short turnaround. And you don't want to risk, that's an injury which you just don't want to risk it being re-aggravated, because a severe hamstring injury, you're out for a couple months, and that could be the end of his season if, let's say, he comes back too early, maybe in that Bears game, and that's what, week 6? This next week's going to be week 5, week 6, so that's week 6, and he re-aggravates it, he could be out until the end of the year, and at that point they might not bring him back. So that's just something to keep in mind with these soft tissue injuries. We saw the same thing with Curtis Samuel last year. You just don't want to bring those guys back too quickly. I think Terry also in his rookie year, if we want to talk about similarities to that Terry and Jahan have, I'm pretty sure he had a similar injury, I think at a similar time, week 4, I think, against the Giants. He had a hamstring injury, and he missed a game. I think he was out for 1, maybe 2 weeks I think it was 1 week, and he was back the next week. So hopefully it's the same with Jahan Dotson, and he's all good. Other injury news, Sam Cosmi had a thumb injury, had surgery yesterday, and hard to imagine he plays this week. Probably out for a couple weeks. That's another big blow. At least they do have Cornelius Lucas as a backup who is solid, but still unfortunate to not have Sam Cosmi out there. He's had some rough games, but he's had some solid games as well. And that's, he had some injury issues last year, and it's the reappearing, and it's not only the finger injury. He had like a knee injury or ankle injury, 2 games ago, I believe, against the Eagles that he had to play through. So you don't like to see that. Hopefully he can avoid injuries for the rest of the season. Percy Butler with some kind of quad injury, so hopefully it's nothing too major, but they didn't really give an update on that. He's not really been a huge contributor, so it's not going to be a big deal if he's out for a while, but maybe it's a situation where they put him on IR. And then Milo Eifler didn't practice, and Curtis Samuel did not practice, but nothing to be worried about, just an illness. Hopefully everything's good with that, but not like it's going to be a long-term injury or anything. And, he should be back. He should be maybe back tomorrow or Friday and be ready for the game. And then Charles Leno limited, David Mayo limited as well. Both those guys should be able to play. Charles Leno was limited and missed some practice last week. He should be good to go, and I thought he played pretty well last week. And then Robinson and Larson are not on the injury report because they have yet to be activated to the roster. And Larson, I don't know if he'll start. I think he practiced today. We'll see if he plays, but he was solid as a backup last year once Chase Roulier got injured. So it would be great to have him as a center. Because Nick Martin wasn't great. He was what you were really expecting from a guy that you sign off the street and start pretty much right away. But Larson would be an upgrade over him, knows the system, played with some of the offensive linemen last year in, I guess, Schweitzer, but he's out. He also played with Leno, Cosmi, but none of the other guards. But I guess he did play with them in Carolina, so shouldn't be much of an adjustment for Tyler Larson. I think that'll be a little bit of a boost. And then Brian Robinson, I think it'll be a big boost. I think he's a true running back. And hopefully, I really, really liked how Scott Turner used Antonio Gibson in week 1 against the Jaguars. And I hope, and I'll play some Brian Robinson highlights right here in the back, I hope that they use with Robinson. I mean, week 1 might be a little bit different because Brian Robinson isn't, at least I don't think so, going to get 20-plus carries in week 1. He might not get 20-plus carries for, any game this season, but definitely not week 1. First game of his NFL career, first game back from getting shot. I think they'll ease him back into it. But eventually, once he's 100%, so maybe in week 8 or week 7, I think week 7's a good spot because he'll likely have played 2 games by then, and he had a few extra days rest because of that Thursday night game in Chicago. I think that's when he can pretty much play at full strength, have as many carries as he wants. And in that scenario, I want to see, let's say like 13, 14 carries for Robinson, maybe like 6 to 10 carries for Gibson, but use Gibson as your receiver, a hybrid between a receiver and a running back, like you did in week 1. Have him run routes out of the backfield. He had a really nice route early on in the game. We had like a 20-yard, catch, almost scored a touchdown, and he ran that out of the backfield. He also had some snaps where he lined up on the line of scrimmage as a receiver. Like, use him like that, and use Robinson as your running back because he's, as your main running back because he's got great vision. Robinson does. Good strength and good ability to get to that second level. And, Gibson can do it at times, but he's not very consistent. You see him, sometimes he tries to do a little bit too much, and it's just, it's not great. But Gibson, can hold it down, and I think he's done an okay job the first few weeks of the season. But use him like he should be used as a hybrid running back receiver, and use Robinson as your main guy. This week, again, it might be Gibson gets like 12 carries, or maybe let's say Gibson gets like 13, 14 carries and Robinson gets 8. But I think after that, maybe Thursday, you'll give Robinson like 10, 11, and then after that, you'll give him the full amount of carries that he gets, which might be like 14, 15, and Gibson getting like 8 or so. But overall, kind of mixed injury news with Brian Robinson and Tyler Larson coming back probably both this week. And then Jahan Jahan's likely out. Same thing with Sam Cosmi. And then Chase Roulier, they had, I think he had surgery and he's going to be out for the year likely. And they did a restructured contract, which is they converted it to a signing bonus. I think it freed up like $3 million in cap space. Something that they really haven't done before in terms of that type of restructure. So definitely interesting for sure. So that is it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. And yeah, we'll have a couple, more videos this week. Have a stream as well. Very, very excited for this game against the Titans on my birthday. That's all I want for my birthday. Get a win, Commanders. Peace.